God sees your sadness and knows your pain. He sees your tears in life's darkest moments, when the storm hits, when relationships break, or when loneliness feels overwhelming. God doesn't ignore or dismiss your struggles. He keeps a personal, intimate record of your pain because He cares deeply. He is not a distant king, untouched by your suffering. Instead, He steps into your pain, walking with you through every tear. You are never alone. Share this message with someone who needs to be reminded of God's loving presence and comfort. Psalm 56, verses 8 to 11. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. My enemies will retreat when I call to you for help. This I know, God is on my side. I praise God for what He has promised. Yes, I praise the Lord for what He has promised. I trust in God, so why should I be afraid? What can mere mortals do to me? My beloved, you think no one notices the ache within you, but I do. Every tear you've cried has been precious to me, held close like a jewel. Not a single one falls without purpose. They carry your story, your struggles, fears, quiet hopes, and I've written every detail in my book. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing is lost. Even now, I am at work in ways you cannot yet see. The pain you feel isn't meaningless. It's a part of something I am shaping far beyond what you can understand right now. Grief has no final say. Even now, I am weaving threads of hope and healing through your life, stitching together the pieces in ways that will one day leave you in awe. Think about how deeply you long for relief, answers, and something to change. That longing is not wasted. It's a sign of the greater purpose I've placed within you. When you called out to me, I heard you. And though you may not sense it, I've been moving ever since. Battles are being fought on your behalf. Enemies you didn't even know were there are stepping back. The ground beneath your feet is steadier than you feel, because I am holding you through every step. There are no wasted moments, no forgotten prayers, no unnoticed cries. The very tears you've shed have a weight and meaning that go beyond your understanding. They speak of resilience, faith, and a heart that refuses to give up even in the darkest nights. And those nights won't last. The dawn is nearer than you think. I've promised to be your refuge, and my promises do not fail. You are not abandoned to your pain, nor does it define you. There's so much more for you ahead, more than you've dared to dream. I am unfolding it, layer by layer, day by day. Child, I see every part of you. I am moving, I am healing, and I am turning your tears into joy. Nothing can stop what I planned for you. Keep your heart open, for the beauty I am creating will one day take your breath away. Second Corinthians 1, verses 3 to 4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves have received from God. There's a heaviness in your heart, my child, a quiet ache you can't quite explain. It lingers in the spaces where hope once felt so sure. I know it well, even the parts you try to hide. But have you ever paused to wonder why those feelings rise and fall the way they do? Why, in one moment, the world feels steady, and in the next, it feels like the ground beneath you shifts? There's more happening here than meets the eye. Even now, amid what seems like unanswered questions and unfulfilled desires, I'm busy doing something. Every piece of this story is held in my hands that don't let go. When you cry in the dark, thinking no one notices, I'm closer than you think. I don't rush past your pain or wave it away like it's unimportant. No, I meet you in it. I'm not afraid of your sadness or the way your heart wrestles with doubt. In fact, it's in these moments that I'm weaving something so deep, so beautiful, that one day you'll look back and realize nothing was wasted. My child, that same comfort I'm offering you right now is more than just for you. One day it will pour out of you like a river, reaching others who feel just as lost, just as unsure. You'll speak words you didn't know you had, born from a place of understanding only pain could teach. What you're walking through now isn't meaningless, it's a preparation. So let me ask you, what if today wasn't about fixing everything? What if it was about letting your heart rest, even for a moment, in the truth that you're not forgotten? The feeling of sorrow that you are experiencing holds no final authority. And as I work and move in ways you can't yet see, know that I'm not going anywhere. Your story is still being written, and the chapters ahead are full of light you can't yet imagine. Keep walking, even if it's one small step at a time. There's so much more to come. Second Kings 20, verse 5. Go back and tell Hezekiah, the leader of my people, that this is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says. I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. I will surely heal you. On the third day from now, you will go up to the house of the Lord. Beloved child, I see what's happening in your life. The sadness, the questions that echo when no one's around. You wonder if anyone notices, if anyone truly understands. But I do. I've heard every cry, even the ones too quiet for others to hear. I've seen every tear that falls when you think no one's looking. They're not forgotten. Not by me. Do you remember how I sent word to Hezekiah? I told him I'd heard his prayer and seen his tears. I didn't just leave him in his pain. I stepped in. Child, I am moving in your story in the same way that I did for him. Possibly, you do not have a whole image at this moment, but I'm already at work, preparing something far greater than you can imagine. There's more happening here than you realize. Your sadness isn't the end. It's part of a journey. Picture a seed that has been buried deep within the ground. This is the place where the growth starts, even though it is dark, silent, and concealed. Right now, it might feel like you're in that dark place, but don't mistake it for being forgotten. Just like the seed, something is growing beneath the surface, something alive and full of promise. I'm not asking you to force a smile or pretend everything's fine. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. But know this: healing is coming. Just as Hezekiah rose up on the third day, you will rise too. The timing may not match your plans, but I am never late. I know exactly what you need and when you need it. And here's what's waiting for you: a joy you haven't yet experienced, a peace that won't be shaken, and a purpose that will make sense of everything you're going through. Your tears are not in vain. They're watering the ground for something beautiful to bloom. So stay close to me. Let the questions linger if they must, but don't let go of the hope that better days are ahead. I'm working in ways that will amaze you. You'll see it unfold, and when you do, you'll understand that every moment mattered, even this one. You are loved more than you know, and I'm not done yet. Not even close. Isaiah 49, verses 14 to 15. But Zion said, "The Lord has forsaken me. The Lord has forgotten me." Can a woman forget her nursing child, or lack compassion for the son of her womb? Even if she could forget, I will not forget you. Beloved, maybe you've looked around, searching for a sign, a glimmer of hope, and found only silence. You've wondered if I turned away, if I'd forgotten you altogether. I must inform you, nevertheless, that your name is engraved on my hands. It's not written in pencil that fades or ink that smudges. It's etched there permanently, unshakable, and forever. Think about the love a mother has for her child and how fiercely she protects, nurtures, and treasures them. Even if she could turn away, and that's almost unimaginable, I never could. I haven't left, not for a single moment. Every tear you've cried, I've caught. Every sigh, every whispered prayer, I've heard. You might wonder why things haven't changed, why the weight you're carrying feels just as heavy. Let me assure you, I am at work in ways you can't see right now. Doors are shifting, paths are clearing, and pieces are falling into place. It may not look the way you expected, but I am moving on your behalf. There's a purpose in this season, even when it feels unclear. Every part of your story matters, even the ones you wish you could skip over. I am working, shaping, and redeeming, turning even the hard moments into something that will bring light into your life. So hold on, dear child. You are not required to be in a hurry. Just take the next step, even if it's small. Let me guide you. You're not forgotten. You never were. I have not let go of you, and I never will. You're not at the end. You're at the edge of something new. Keep moving forward, because what's ahead is worth it. Trust that my plans for you are full of hope, and I won't stop working until they unfold. You are mine, and I am here, steady, constant, and unfailing. Hebrews 4, verse 15. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who was tempted in every way that we are, yet was without sin. There's a weight in your heart that you've been carrying, dear child, one that you haven't fully shared, even with those closest to you. It lingers, quiet but heavy, like a cloud that just won't clear. It feels so persistent, the ache echoes louder when everything else grows quiet. But know that I see all of it. Every unspoken word, question you don't dare to ask, every moment you feel unseen or misunderstood. I am not far removed from the suffering you are experiencing. I've walked paths of sorrow, felt the sting of rejection, and carried burdens far heavier than you could imagine. When I was on this earth, I experienced the struggles that now weigh on you. I was tempted, hurt, even betrayed by those I loved. So believe me when I say, I get it. Your sadness isn't something you have to hide from me, nor does it make you weak. It makes you human, and I hold that humanity with tenderness and care. Beloved, your sadness was never meant to be a dead end but a doorway. The pieces of your story, yes, even the parts that feel broken, are coming together in my hands. I am shaping them into something that will one day bring beauty and purpose beyond what you can imagine. For now, though, you don't need to have all the answers. Rest in the truth that I am not idle. Every moment you feel forgotten, I am at work. Every tear you've cried has been noticed. I don't waste pain, and I certainly won't waste yours. Let me hold the sadness for you. Let me guide you step by step, even through the uncertainty. One day, you'll look back and see how every moment of heartache brought you closer to the light I've prepared for you. You're not stuck. You're not forgotten. And this, it's not the end. Hold on to the truth that I've already overcome every sorrow you'll ever face. There's more ahead, so much more than you could ever imagine. Let's keep walking together. You'll see. Jeremiah 31, verse 16. This is what the Lord says: restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work will be rewarded, declares the Lord. They will return from the land of the enemy. My beloved, I know your heart aches in ways words can't fully express. There's a sadness you've carried, wondering if it will ever lift, if the answers you long for will ever come. You've looked around, searching for signs that things might get better, questioning if I see the depth of what you're feeling. Let me tell you, I do. Every tear, cry, and moment of heaviness, I have noticed them all. And even now, I am moving in your life in ways that will surprise you. You may feel like things have stalled, like the progress you hoped for is nowhere in sight. But this moment, this very season, is part of something bigger. There is no such thing as wasted time with me. Every struggle, every bit of effort, every quiet prayer is all being woven into a story of restoration. Nothing you've endured has gone unseen or unvalued. I am turning it all into something more. Child, when the clouds seem their darkest, that's when the rain prepares the ground for what's next. Your tears have not been meaningless. They've been a language I understand deeply. And in this, I've been preparing you for something greater than you've imagined. The sadness you feel is not your forever. I'm bringing you into a place of joy, peace, and wholeness. You don't need every answer to believe that change is happening. Keep holding on. Keep taking one step at a time. Your work is not in vain, and your reward is coming. I've promised to bring back what feels lost, to restore what seems broken, and to replace your tears with laughter. This isn't the end. Far from it. I'm already moving, creating, and preparing a way forward for you. The sadness will fade, and in its place, you'll find a joy so full, it will make every moment of waiting worth it. Hold on, because what I'm doing next will leave you in awe. Psalm 126, verses 5 to 6. Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. He who goes out weeping, bearing a trail of seed, will surely return with shouts of joy, carrying sheaves of grain. You've been holding so much inside, my love. There are moments when the sadness feels like it's wrapped itself around you, so tightly that even breathing feels like an effort. You wonder if anyone truly sees it, if anyone could possibly understand what you're carrying. And still, even in the depths of your sorrow, there's a faint pulse prompting you that this isn't where your story ends. I know the ache in your heart, how it feels like the world has slowed down just for you, but not how you hoped. Every tear you've cried has been precious to me. Not a single one has fallen unnoticed. They speak of the depth of your pain, yes, but also of your strength, because even in your sadness, you haven't stopped longing for better days. That longing itself is a sign of hope, no matter how distant it may feel. There's a purpose in all this, even if it's hard to see right now. Think about a storm, the way it rages, relentless, leaving the skies dark and heavy. But when it passes, something incredible happens. The air feels cleaner and clearer. The ground feels new. The storm doesn't last forever, and neither will this. There's a clearing ahead where the heaviness will lift and joy will rush in like sunlight breaking through the clouds. And while the answers may not come as quickly as you'd like, don't mistake my silence for absence. I'm not just watching from a distance, I'm working. I'm weaving something beautiful for you in every tear and prayer. Not to erase the pain, but to transform it into something that carries meaning, healing, and peace. There's a day ahead when you'll realize that the sadness didn't break you. It shaped you, prepared you, and even strengthened you for the joy that's waiting. Hold on to that. Joy is closer than you think. And when it comes, it will flood your heart in unexpected ways. Until then, know that you are deeply seen, fully known, and endlessly loved. Lamentations 3, verses 31 to 33. For the Lord will not cast us off forever. Even if he causes grief, he will show compassion according to his abundant loving devotion. For he does not willingly afflict or grieve the sons of men. My dear one, there are moments when sadness feels like an endless river, flowing without pause, pulling you further into its depths. You've wondered if this ache will ever subside, if the weight pressing against your heart will ever lift. You may even think I've forgotten you, but that could never be true. I have never cast you away. Not now, not ever. You see, my heart is not to bring grief without compassion. Even in the moments when pain touches your life, it is not my delight to see you struggle. I do not willingly bring sorrow to the sons and daughters I love. Yet, in the mystery of life, there are seasons where difficulty arises, not as punishment, but as part of a larger story I am writing in you. Do you know what that means? It means that your sorrow is not wasted. It's not meaningless. Just as the earth needs rain for flowers to bloom, there are times when your heart must pass through grief so something far greater can grow. It doesn't mean I am absent. In fact, it's quite the opposite. My loving devotion is abundant, unshaken, and unending. Even now, I am pouring out compassion over you. Think about this. Even when the pain feels unbearable, I am near, bringing purpose to what seems purposeless. My hands are steady, shaping every moment of your life with precision and care. And though you may not see the fullness of it yet, I promise you, there is compassion woven through every thread. I want you to understand something deeply. I do not cause pain to harm you. My goal has always been your restoration, your flourishing. Your current grief will not hold the final say. My compassion will. I am working in ways you cannot yet grasp, bringing together every broken piece, not to leave you as you are, but to make you whole. Hold on to this. My love for you does not fail. My mercy is new each day, and my devotion to you is greater than anything you could imagine. The sadness you feel will give way to joy, and what once felt lost will be renewed in ways that will leave you in awe. I have not cast you off, my beloved. I am here, working, restoring, redeeming. Trust that my compassion is stronger than your grief, and my love is enough to carry you through. Luke 18, verse 7. Will not God bring about justice for his elect who cry out to him day and night? Will he delay in helping them? I have heard your cries, my child, every word spoken in the quiet, every plea when you thought no one was listening. I know the sorrow that rests in your heart, the questions that seem to linger without answers. You've asked, how long? And wondered if help would ever come. Let me assure you, I have not turned away. Every cry you've uttered day and night reaches me, and I am already moving. Child, this is my promise to you. Justice will come. Help is on its way. Do you see the depth of my love in this? I am not a distant observer, unmoved by your pain. I am the one who acts swiftly, purposefully, and with unwavering care for those I call my own. Yes, the wait feels so long, but let me tell you, I am not delaying. Every moment, I am working, shaping, and aligning. The cries of my elect do not fall to the ground unanswered. Just as the sun rises without fail, my response to your cries is sure. It is closer than you think. Think of the widow who kept coming to the unjust judge, relentlessly asking for justice. How much more will I, the God of all creation, respond to you, my beloved? Your persistence has not been in vain. Your tears are not overlooked. Every word you've spoken carries weight with me. You may not see the fullness of it yet, but my justice is unfolding. My help is not slow or uncertain. It is precise, intentional, and perfectly timed. I am not just hearing you. I am intervening. The things that seem immovable will shift. The wounds you thought would never heal will be mended. And the hope that feels so faint will blaze brightly again. So let this truth settle deep in your heart. I am not far off. I am not silent. I am not passive. I am bringing about what is right, what is good, and what will bring you peace. Trust that my timing is perfect and that my love for you is unshakable. Justice will come. Help is already here. Isaiah 40, verses 1 to 2. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem, and proclaim to her that her forced labor has been completed, her iniquity has been pardoned. For she has received from the hand of the Lord double for all her sins. Child, look at the way the ocean moves. Waves rise and fall, pulled by forces unseen, yet they follow an order, a rhythm that never fails. This same precision, this same care, is what I bring to your life. Nothing is left to chance. Even when it feels like chaos, there's a current guiding you, pulling you towards something greater. You might not notice it yet, but I'm arranging each step, every twist and turn with purpose. Like the rising sun dispels the night, I'm working to bring light into every part of your story. Even the parts you thought were too broken, too lost, I'm there. I don't abandon what I create. I don't leave things unfinished. Think about the wind. You can't see it, but you know it's there. It bends trees, lifts leaves, and carries whispers across great distances. That's how I work. Quietly, persistently, I'm moving through your life. What seems still or uncertain is only a momentary pause. There's motion, even now, even when you can't see the full picture. And I will keep working, shaping, and transforming until the fullness of my plan comes to pass. Everything I've spoken over you still stands. I haven't changed my mind. The plans I have are not small or fragile. They're rooted in eternity, designed with care and intention. I see what's ahead, and I know how each moment connects to the next. The seasons of waiting, the ones you don't understand, are not wasted. They're preparing you, aligning you with what's to come. You were not made for small things. Your life is marked by something eternal. And I will not stop working until you see the beauty I've always intended for you. Keep your eyes open. The dawn is closer than you think. What's coming will be greater than what's been, and I won't rest until it's done. Psalm 10, verse 14. But you, God, See the trouble of the afflicted. You consider their grief and take it in hand. The victims commit themselves to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. You felt the ache, my child, that quiet heaviness that lingers, the kind that no one else notices. You try to push it aside, to keep going, but it stays, pressing against your soul. And then there are the questions that rise in the quiet moments, questions that make you feel even more alone. Does anyone care? Does any of this matter? Do you matter? Let me answer you right here, right now. Yes. You matter to me more than you can comprehend. Your sadness, your struggle is not lost on me. When you cry in secret, when your heart aches in ways you can't put into words, I am not far off. I am there in every unspoken thought, in every tear you feel too tired to cry. Do you know why? Because I created you. I shaped every part of who you are. And when I look at you, I don't see failure, weakness, or pain as the world does. I see someone worth fighting for, someone whose story isn't finished. You might wonder why it hurts so much, why the weight feels unrelenting. It's hard to see the purpose in pain, especially when you're living in the middle of it. But let me tell you something you may not realize yet. Nothing about you is wasted. Not your joy, not your grief, not even your doubts. I am taking every piece of your life, the parts you wish you could erase, the parts you've kept hidden, and I am weaving them into something far greater than you could imagine. Even now, I am at work. You may not feel it, but I am moving in ways that defy what you can see or understand. The people who have crossed your path, the opportunities you didn't expect, the moments of quiet strength you didn't know you had are not coincidences. They are my whispers reminding you that you are not forgotten. Child, trust me when I say there's more for you. More healing, joy, and life than the sadness could ever take away. So keep going. I'm not leaving. I'm not giving up on you. And I never will.